I'm Sir Tap Tap and welcome to Let's Play Capsule Force. So this is a multiplayer focused game, but it does have a bunch of little single player levels. We're going to take a quick look at versus. I don't actually have a versus partner here, so we're just going to show you the broad strokes and not actually play a level. So, Parker, I wish you could play two-player. That would make you helpful instead of destructive. So this is a little platforming game with 360-degree shooty, whatever you want to call that. Aiming, yes, that's the word. And so the way multiplayer works is basically to capture the flag. You want to get onto this little platform, and obviously the other player is supposed to be stopping you, except they can't do much right now. And so basically we just get over here to this little orb. We get the orb. Parker's very alarmed by the other controller vibrating. So there's a whole bunch of different stages, and if you lose you get to pick the stage. Multiplayer seems pretty fun. I can't really showcase it very well by myself. So instead I will show you the single player content. Oh, before we do that, the game has very good control options, well, options in general. You can remap your controls, which should be expected, but kind of isn't. You can change all of your settings for your multiplayer. You can make it very quick, very drawn out, sudden death, all sorts of different stuff. You can turn off screen flashes and screen shake if you like. I'm just going to leave everything the default. You can turn on scan lines and smoothiness if you want to do some fake CRT action. I'd really just prefer the plain old pixels. There's a colorblind mode, but since it's blue versus pink, or reddish pink, I'm not really sure how useful the colorblind mode is, but I'm not colorblind, so maybe there's some little bits that I didn't quite notice myself. Oh, neat little touch, the blue team has a blue controller, like the LED on PS4, and the other team has a pink colored one, so that's neat. Also, for extras, you can unlock concept art and sound test and stuff. And there's a neat little progress report for your single-player missions. We're going to take a quick look at some missions, and then we're just going to jump right into the Mission Rush. I beat Mission Rush once. I should be able to do pretty decent. So, when you first play this game, there's a lot of stuff that isn't very obvious. For instance, shields break targets, and they're very often the best way to break targets, actually. They don't hurt players in multiplayer, but they will bounce back shots. So learning when to shield is very relevant. Another thing that is very easy to miss if you miss the how to play tutorial, which you really should not, is that you can jump infinitely in this game. Basically, any action resets your jump counter. You have to time it very well to actually gain height, but the dash makes it easier. The dash can also destroy targets. It's not as useful as the bubble. But you can also jump after shooting, which is very useful because shooting slows you down. So you can aim very carefully with that. Very nice. Also, your gun eventually overheats. Let's go ahead and see that. There we go. So if you overheat, you need to take a minute or try to, bump enemies around with a shield or something. So there's three different kinds of... Oh crap, we missed something. So there's three different kinds of missions. There's target practice, which is this, the standard Smash Bros. Shoot the target style thing. There's also just one where you just rush through the end, and then there's one where it's called danger, and you just have to rush to the end and not get hit because you don't have a shield. So to give you a little sampler, or a rather big sampler actually, let's just play Mission Rush. If I don't survive, I won't, try again because it's fairly long. It took me around like 18 minutes or something. In real time anyway, I'm not sure what my actual time was. I've got the score but not the time. I'm not sure why that's done that particular way. Oh god, okay. I'm not going to restart very often, but if we screw up on the very first one, we're just going to go ahead and restart. Also, fun fact, according to the trophy stats, I am the first person to have beaten this. Obviously, the developers probably beat it, but I'm still going to count that as a win. Silly other reviewers not being able to do this. I really should have reset there and there, but you know what, whatever. Also, I should have known that was coming up. I cleared with a fairly significant amount of time to spare, though there's some missions that are real run killers. Whatever. As you can see, it's slightly faster to not shoot because shooting stops you. So if you can use the shield to break stuff, definitely do it. And you can get some pretty significant time saves in... That's pretty much the difference between an A rank and an S rank in some of the levels if you know exactly how to exploit the shield or other mechanics like the infinite jump. Also, there's an area of effect on hit. You know, that whole blast is damaging, so certain levels will require it, and other levels it's just useful. And since we overheated our gun, we have to use the circle, the bubble shield there. So, in terms of single-player content, the game isn't super rich, and I mean, it's obviously meant to be a single-player game, so I can't fault it too hard. But, oh, by the way, super jump. I always forget to use that. It's pretty cool. It's not entirely necessary, but it's very fun. Crap. That's another one of those moments where I really want to restart, but I won't bother to. So I really enjoy the mechanics, and I think they could do a lot with them in like more robust single-player content. Like, there's no enemies or anything, there's really just obstacles for the versus mode repurposed to single-player missions. But I think the more proper single-player mode could be quite fun because the mechanics are really fun. And there's only, what, 4 buttons? Yeah, 4 buttons, including your jump, and so it's really quite simple, but there's a lot of depth to what you can do with those due to the infinite jumps, due to bubble shields bouncing back shots, due to the area of effect, and oh, there's a charge laser, which I'll show you. It's got slightly bigger area of effect. You are required to use it like exactly 1 time in the single player missions, but it can be very useful. It can't be blocked relevantly. We're not doing the best here, but whatever. We'll call that stage fright or something. What you want to have is about a minute's worth of spare time. And there's a couple levels that will absolutely eat up your time, and that's why you want about that minute. I don't think there's any level longer than a minute, so that's why you want to target that. I mean, really, you just want to go as fast as possible, so you shouldn't worry about it, like the specifics too much. Oh, that's a thing. I didn't even see the little obstacle there. Also, this level must have been inspired by Cyber Peacock in Mega Man X4, because I mean, listen to the music for one thing, and just look. Oh crap! The shield won't protect you from that jerk. This guy is also present in the multiplayer level. It's very... I guess it wasn't very obvious from how I showed the multiplayer, but when you travel through the enemies, like the way it's laid out, there's 1 neutral path, and then 3 enemy side paths on either side of the multiplayer. Then as you travel into the enemy's path, there's more and more automatic obstacles, so you get more and more resistance as you go on, which makes sense. And then... Alright, this is the no shield levels, and I kind of forgot about that. Perfect. So... lost my train of thought. So when you travel into the enemy territory, you know, there's increasing automatic defenses, and it's a lot easier for your enemy to defeat you. But the longer you're in enemy territory, the platform speeds up over time, and there's a little meter on the platform you can see that, you know, so you won't quite get a stalemate, and if you do kind of get beat up too bad, the enemy can just, you know, ride the platform and go back into your territory. So the multiplayer seems pretty neat. I really shouldn't have waited there, but whatever. But like I said, I don't have anybody to show you the multiplayer, sorry. So if you want to purchase it, definitely check out the multiplayer. It's definitely the main draw, but the single player is quite fun. It's just not very long. I'd say it took me around, I want to say 3 hours to beat everything with an A rank plus the mission mode. Mission mode's like 20 minutes if you beat it right. And you'll probably... The way you want to approach that is you want to get at least an A rank on all of the missions so you can beat all of them in proper time, and then you want to try mission mode. I had a very bad time trying it from scratch, because there's certain missions that I just did not know how to do properly. I'll point those out. This is one of the harder ones at first. You just want to be able to manage your dash if you get in a bad situation, because you can dash right through these jerks. Also, dashing is actually slower than moving straight forward, so you want to minimize your use of the dash. Though actually dashing, because you don't have to recover, if you dash through the goal, it's actually a little faster. Just minor little optimization there. This is one of the killer levels. This is where it can be very useful to know exactly when to dash through stuff like that, so you don't have to wait for the proper cycle. And there's some other stuff like this that's fairly brutal and not always possible to just simply dash through. If something's at the wrong angle, like you can't dash horizontally through the entire firewall, of course. Ah, crap. See, like that, I dashed too early. You can definitely go through that. It just has to be a little straighter. Excuse me. Oh, it's just our quote-unquote player 2 being disconnected. I'm pretty sure there's a way you can dash. You can just dash through that, but I am too chicken. So that's our major time killer number 1. Number 2 is actually coming up fairly soon. The danger missions are honestly some of the worst time losses. Yeah, we're probably gonna die a few times to some of these laser things. The main trick to these without a shield is that if you're constantly moving vertically, you won't get shot. Unless you happen to be, you know, falling down directly onto the bullet, which is problematic. Damn it. So, there we go. Oh, come on. Your sprite has to be completely past that line, so if you dash too early. Now, this level is absolutely killer. That was pretty bad, but it's all about managing your double jump and your jump height. There's some very mean stuff with those spikes, and as you can see at the bottom there, we actually can't dash. It's not just the shield. We can't dash in this area either. Oh, for Pete's sake. This is one of the most infuriating levels to try and get an S rank on, and it's also where you're going to lose a lot of time in this mode. Really hoping it doesn't prove fatal, because other than this has been a decent run. Oh, for Pete's sake. If we get past this, we'll probably be basically home free. Oh wow, that was really close. There we go. So after this point, nothing is really super hard. That's right, Parker. There's a lot of little tricks, but that's one of the last levels that I actually have any trouble with. You actually have to wait for that stupid thing. At least that's one of the safer ways to do it. I'm not sure of a better way. I was trying to land on that thing so I could jump more clearly, but didn't work out. If it's not obvious, I'm very good at these levels, and it's not going to be nearly this easy or quick to go through the first time around. Why am I going around the top? You don't really need to do that. Also, I completely forgot to mention, but I really like the 80s, 90s anime feel to everything. It's, must be in vogue lately, because Galaxy Z does that too. But I think it looks just... I'm not saying Galaxy Z looks bad, it just somehow looks a little more authentic in this one. Like, it may just be because the pixel art makes it seem more like it's an 80s, 90s video game too. But, also the little lava thing there intimidated me quite a lot at first until I remembered I have a shield. So like sometimes half of the difficulty is just remembering what you have. Oh man, that would have been amazing. Like I said, I haven't really mastered the... Oh crap. I could have infinite jumped that, but it would have wasted more time than it saved. So the single player content, it's very speedrunny. And so if you enjoy getting the best possible times, you'll have extra fun with that. Though it doesn't have as much... that would have been badass, but I screwed it up. That's not how I usually do that. I just thought I'd try for a little bit of showmanship there. That was one of the more strict ones to optimize in single player in the mission mode. So now we are largely done with this. So yeah, my main critique of the game is that it's a little bit light on content. It's oh right, $15. It's on PS4 and I forget if it's on Xbox One as well. It's on PC for sure. It'll be in the platforms will be in the description, as always. But it just feels like there could be a lot more done with it because I really enjoy how the game controls. And I think you really could do some really cool stuff single player with this. And the mission mode isn't bad or anything. I've actually had quite a lot of fun with it, but it's just not too much to it. So it remains a mostly multiplayer game. But the movement really feels good, and so it should still be quite fun for multiplayer. It plays a little like an objective-based crap. Oh, hey, nice. Blah. This is not remotely as hard as the first level we saw with the bubble annoyances. I can still waste some time, but not nearly as much. Unless I keep screwing up. I usually don't mess up quite this bad. What was I saying? Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like a lot more could have been done single-player-wise, like, because there's no enemies or anything. Though there's a trophy, I'm not sure what it means. There's a trophy that says, like, defeated 999, or 1999, you know, 1999, which is the age of every future in every 80s anime, because that's obviously the future, and we'll totally have spaceships by 1999. But I'm not really sure what trophy what gets you that trophy. Which is weird, because I have the mission mode trophy nobody else has but me. But somebody has apparently discovered the secret of that trophy, but not this one. You have to wait until you start moving again after your dash to get the maximum distance out of that. And I like that the mission mode slowly forces you to use the advanced techniques, because when I first played it, I was just kind of bumbling around and had some pretty bad times. Crap. And didn't realize a lot of what I'm doing right now was possible. And it eventually kind of forces you to learn the advanced techniques, like the infinite jump there. And the infinite jump really isn't that hard. It's, crap. The timing's a little strict, but there's visual cues, so it's really... You just have to try, honestly. Also, I have no idea what governs our score there. Like, I guess I've never watched when I died. I'm not sure if dying reduces it or if it's entirely score-based. Or, I mean, time-based. If it's entirely time-based, I have no idea why it doesn't just list our time, because you have to pass every increased, like, time increase thing. I would say the launch jump is probably the hardest advanced technique to master. Not entirely because I haven't mastered it yet, but it's a little tricky to know when it's going to be useful at all. Ah, crap. This level can be very frustrating. Oh, phew. Because if you mess up the cycle, you have to wait for the entire thing to go over again. And again, you have to use the infinite jump to poke around there. I mean, you can't just constantly die and restart, but that's a complete waste of time. We're also going to be seeing the only required use of the laser right now, because it has more area of effect. The laser's quite fun and charges very quickly. Now this one's annoying. This, crap. We have to do 2 cycles. Ah, garbage. There we go. Yeah, you just completely have to wait for the cycle again on that one. You would normally just reset, but that's obviously an incredibly bad idea on the mission rush. Unless you're, you know, going for world record or something. Which I'm obviously not. I'm just a simple, modest Let's Player over here. Also, I'm not taking full advantage, but you do slow down in midair, so you can take very precise shots, which is very nice. It, of course, costs you time too, and in multiplayer it can get you killed, but it's very nice to be able to do that. There we go. You're kind of supposed to use it to get that one. Also, this level is where it's incredibly useful to know that the bubble shield can break things, because some of these can be a real pain to break without it, and they're incredibly easy to break with it. There were supposed to be 2 very fast moving things there that I accidentally killed. That was actually the example that I meant for the bubble shield being useful. But you can just randomly beast mode it like I did just there. There we go. That is mission mode. So yeah, sorry, Parker. I think I did even better than my first one. Oh wait, no I didn't. I just barely did worse. I have no idea how we're scored there. But yeah, that's pretty much mission mode, and yeah, that is pretty much Capsule Force. Definitely check out multiplayer too if you're considering it, but it's, oops, I missed Mario Pass T. It's really quite fun, just a little light on content, but you know, it really depends how much you're going to play multiplayer, which I guess that's true of any game with multiplayer focus, but single player content's quite fun. More importantly, the controls are quite fun. So yeah, that is Capsule Force. Oh yeah, this is just the credits. So yeah, very fun. Kind of short, but I mean, it's a multiplayer game, so that makes sense.